Whether you're a guest host that goes rogue or your first minute on stage goes terribly, there's been endless insane moments in Kill Tony's 642 episodes. Tony Hinchcliffe became known for his insult style of comedy at the Comedy Store and was recruited by Jeff Ross to write for Comedy Central Roast. So it only made sense to start your own show doing exactly that, but instead of tearing down delusional rich people, it is instead a brutal shot at stardom for amateurs with enough guts to try. Here's 10 moments for its 10-year run. Gareth Pursehouse. No more insane a place to start than this guy, bombing horrifically the entire set.
And when a toy kazoo comes from the ground, raises from the grave, takes over Tony and starts singing. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful time.
Cringe-inducing and unremarkable, but nobody expected that 25 days later he'd be a wanted man.
Oh, my last name's long, so I just didn't bother.
What? Okay.
My last name's Pursehouse.
Wow. Too long to write, huh?
It's 2 words we all know.
3 years on, Gareth Pursehouse will deservedly spend the rest of his life in prison, as his twisted obsession with his ex, Amy Harwick, that spanned over a decade, turned into a real-life version of you. The former architect deserves a dose of solitary confinement too, as he even intended to strike another ex while out on $2 million bail just before he was rearrested. Well, enjoy jail, Crack Kent. Maybe Bill Burr would have noticed this like he did with this guy.
This dude is a lunatic!
Infamous, overplayed at this point, but Burr's one and only appearance on Kill Tony is amazing.
He was him, he thought it would work, it didn't work.
Yeah.
This is fucking brutal. Is this gonna be an hour of this? I don't want to do this to people. Horrible.
It's enough to know that he's not the biggest fan of Tony Hinchcliffe's smarmy comedy roast style comedy or the show's format of roasting beginner open micers. Burr knows how hard it is to be funny on stage, especially when you're first starting out, and for someone with the reputation of sending other entertainers to therapy, he surprisingly has too much empathy to shit all over someone who is just starting at the craft. Tony, on the other hand...
Oh, if there's a negative lining, Tony will find it. You smarmy.
That was all of Australia's favourite swear words that make advertisers angry, of course. Burr then occasionally chimes in but is clearly not invested in the show and walks away abruptly by the end, never to return again. Someone who also hasn't returned yet is the good word, the truth, goat versus fish.
Are you goat or are you fish? Ponder it now. This is goat versus fish. This is goat versus fish.
While it's an over-the-top Broadway-esque nonsensical bit, there's something funny about the total commitment to not breaking character and the silliness of the gag that has kept fans talking about it for years. Goat versus fish social media, on the other hand, the guy has quadrupled down on a character that hasn't gained any traction in 6 years of commitment, and every single piece of content released is the same are you goat or are you fish conundrum.
One time I saw you walking on Sunset about a week ago or something.
Yes.
And I had the thought, like, what the f*** is this guy's life?
Maybe go give the guy a sub or something, I don't know, what else can you say? But it's not the first time the show has attracted the strange arts. Tony Hinchcliffe probably beefed up security after he almost became his show's name.
They've both been on the show. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what are you doing? Whoa, what the f is that? You gotta get him out of here. That was, I thought that was it. I thought that was truly it. I saw him coming up. I pictured this numerous times.
That was a Kill Tony fan who became a regular in the early days of the podcast, wearing a homemade Iron Man suit with a distorted voice on stage until Tony grew tired of the shtick and weird comments. Rushing the stage didn't help his chances of returning, and neither does his YouTube channel, where to this day most of the videos are about Kill Tony in rather strange ways.
Right now, Kill Tony is small potatoes. What if you bring back the Iron Patriot, though? Then Kill Tony becomes large potatoes.
It's a very bold strategy to proving to Tony that you're ready to invite back, but you do your thing, man. Someone who won't be talking about Kill Tony again, however, Ric Flair. Drunk Ric Flair was basically a sober Joe Biden. And endearingly, he also didn't want to make fun of anybody, but the rambling went on.
To be honest with you, and this is why I'm gonna make this. This is why. Come here, guys.
Fans who were there noted that many of Ric's craziest moments were cut out, apparently pulling a sniper wolf exposing Tony's $3 million home address at one point. It's a brutal watch, but also hilariously chaotic, as everybody has to silently wait as Ric takes a drunken eon to explain his points.
My son was a great amateur wrestler. He died of a overdose. And because I believe it in my heart, I will never sign up to make fun of people that donate their time. I won't.
The sad piano music and Norman's joke landing so quickly after he brought up his son.
You ever had Asian pussy?
Poor Ric Flair had no idea what show he got booked on, and while I don't need a sequel, the chaos he created was gold. Whitney Cummings and Bert's appearance together never gets old, does it? The drunk, overly fake laugh and squealing is on show.
No, you're not allowed to do that. I made a show called Two Broke Girls, and there was a Chinese character on it, and the actor that auditioned was South Korean, and they called me racist.
I don't know how to explain this behavior other than it's powered by a little more than a Red Bull is here too. The upper and downer duo can't help but yell for attention. The show's best guests let the roasting and the format flow nicely, whereas just like when Bert and Whitney have a guest on their podcast, it's an opportunity to talk about themselves.
You look like Lizzo dressed like Suge Knight for Halloween.
Unfortunately, that falls flat in a podcast that is also a hosted show, live audience format, where podcast comedians have to rely on their on-the-spot wit rather than just material or gags, which is probably why they both had more than a few jokes not land and were frustrated about it. Bucket Pool Kyle Long also had this problem, delivering the first mini fight in Kill Tony history.
Oh,
Shit. I'm not drunk.
this is some of the funniest stand-up I've ever seen.
So what do you do, Kyle?
He's a full-time garbage pail kid.
Whoever's working here. Whoever, you can't let him. Don't. Whoa! There you go. Yeah, he's gone.
Yes, it wasn't the best way to approach the comedy scene, but let's be fair to the guy. Almost everyone knows how it feels to be drunk or more than that and do something incredibly stupid. Kyle apparently replied to a post about this moment on Reddit, and while he's been pursuing comedy for the past decade, this moment has haunted his reputation in comedy clubs, and apologizing to Tony didn't change the shunning treatment he claims to have received ever since. Considering it's an infamous moment fans really enjoyed, Tony should think about a second chance for the guy. He gave I Am Patriot a lot more opportunities, and you'd think a friend of Joe Rogan would understand that it was just a substance-fueled mistake. Just like drunk Joe Rogan, a completely different animal that takes over the entire show.
Shut the f*** up! Can we be cool?
Hey, give me 1 million, I'll shut the fuck.
Can you shut the f*** up? I can shut the f*** up. Are you my friends?
But since he's the guy who put everybody into the spotlight, there's a refrain from pulling him up the same way other drunk guests have been. Except for Freddie Gibbs, who completely trashed Rogan over the Planet of the Apes scandal. It was a pretty funny set to begin with, and Rogan handles the jabs well at first, but is less comfortable as Freddie keeps them coming endlessly.
I appreciate that.
I know, white boy, you better appreciate it. I'm appreciating. Look, we gotta talk because Joe Rogan is about to give reparations.
Oh my, Freddie, get back over here. Get back over here.
And you just don't know it.
Sucked the air right out of the room on that one. Although Freddie really can't talk when his first sentence on Rogan's show was...
This is a crackhead back in the day. I shot the 9 times with a Tech 9 and he kept running down the alley.
Rogan's little is the funniest damn reaction possible.
Rap snitches telling all their business.
Our final pick just tells you which disease he spread today.
I'm pretty sure I have lupus.
William Montgomery, one of the most successful bucket pools ever, being able to turn his 1-minute set and random persona into a solid career. As Tony said, if you haven't seen him before, at first you're trying to figure out if this full-grown leprechaun is crazy or a genius.
Half the time I'm down in Scottsdale, Arizona with my aunt, flipping over Hyundai Elantras, y'all.
If you had to guess how many Elantras you flipped in your life, like, what would that number be?
I don't have to guess. It's 14.
Whether you love it or hate it, or are indifferent to the show or Tony himself, the opportunity it gives to talented comedians to turn a minute set into a career makes it a podcast and show unlike any other.
Can we help that guy? Shut the f*** up.